Drum roll, please. Yes, that is the unimpressive sound of opening a Franzia Chardonnay. And I have to say, I had one of these last night, and it's the worst Chardonnay I've ever had. Now, having said that, I'm certainly a strong advocate of any alcohol is better than no alcohol. However, this stuff is pretty bad. Let's take a slug. Well, you know what? Maybe it's end of the day syndrome, or maybe the other one I had last night was shitty, but this one doesn't taste as bad. Well, hey, there's a little unexpected surprise. I did drink it after having one of the small baby bottles that I had kept with me, so maybe it was just like a weird kind of palate changing kind of thing. Oh, Lord. Long day. It's 7:26 on March 2nd, Wednesday. March 2nd. Let's see. I think I went 30... How far did I... Oh, shit. Hold on. I did 30.7 miles today. That was like about where I was hoping to get. I was considering just maybe an hour ago going 8 more miles. So I was like at 28, and I was like thinking about doing a 36. But I was just like, I don't know about that, because if I had done that, I would have had to carry water for like, I don't know, 6 of those miles. And at the end of the day, the last 6 miles of a 36-mile day, I don't really want to be carrying 8 pounds of water. My toes are tender enough, and I don't need to exacerbate any of the current maladies that are befalling them. However, I'm at a very nice campsite right now. It wasn't listed on Far Out. I'm sort of sensing a definite theme here. A lot of campsites and water sources have not been listed, which, that's fair enough. Who knows how much research they do. I really don't even understand the criteria for how far out. Like, you can't, although it is crowdsourced with the comments and everything like that, you can't actually like make your own little icon thing to say that something is here or there. You basically have to, if there is something that Far Out has not made an icon for on the map, then you have to either mention it before or after that thing in whatever sort of icon they did provide, whether it was water or shelter or whatever. Also, doing a little bit of research, I think it was last night, and there are no more shelters on the Pinhoti. I don't know how many there are. Actually, maybe I could figure that out, because if I type in shelter on the Guthook app, then I'd imagine it should show all of the shelters. There can't be more than 5. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, no, 10. So there are only 10 shelters on a 360-mile trail. I've passed all of them now. So no more shelters. Come what may, the weather's supposed to be pretty nice for the next week or so. Very pleasantly surprised that this doesn't taste like complete shit. It tasted so bad last night. I did get it from a gas station, and the place where it was located kind of seemed like a bargain bin, kind of like dumping area for shit that they wanted to offload. So it could definitely be expired. However, trying to read the weird Best Buy date thing doesn't really give you very much information. So, whatever, who cares? It's a win, so I'll take it. Standards are low. But yeah, man, I'm sitting on it's a nice campsite. It's huge. The ground is very soft. The trees look safe, no widowmakers or anything like that. It's next to water, but not too close. Enough room to spread out. I'm not really sure if I'm going to end up getting dewy overnight. But this is actually going to be the second night that I have slept with my tent and no fly. Last night, I was sleeping on this weird, it was a very, very narrow walkway that I really just lucked out finding. I guess I haven't made any clips about last night. But yeah, I slept sort of on a cliff. Not a very dangerous or scary one, but it was a definite, there was like an area where you could walk kind of through. It kind of seemed like people had walked back in this area before. I got to the campsite last night after making the clip when I was walking up the road, and someone else was there, and I was like, fuck, dude, I'm striking out. Mm. And I have business. I have a liter of wine and service. I'm about to make some bad decisions. I can't be camping next to someone else. So thankfully there was this little like alleyway type of thing, and I made my way back. I was able to find a little comfortable spot to have dinner and drink wine and chill, and it was all within the vicinity of me being able to have service, which was cool. So yeah, this is the second night now that I'm gonna have no fly, which is really cool because my tent is like 100% mesh. It seems like all the way around, and I can just see very clearly up into the sky, and it's just fun. It's a little bit more exposed here at this campsite. I felt very cozy last night because I was like, man, this like little alleyway is sort of like a funnel, sort of like a bottleneck. Like nothing can come in or out of this area without me very much so being aware of it, which was kind of nice because the area I was camped at, that car that I mentioned, like when I ended my clip yesterday, it looked very sketchy. It was like a Nissan Altima on a Forest Service road that like it was like a little bit more of a challenge, I think, for that car to get up there than that car might have been up for. And if you have people doing something like that going up a Forest Service road, then they're probably doing something really not good. Which is an unfortunate thing that I noticed too on the Blue Ridge Parkway. It seemed, especially on the weekends, that a bunch of fucking ne'er-do-wells would come out and just fuck around and do dumb shit. There was like this spot that I really enjoyed. I forget, it was like mile 7 or mile 9. Allie and I stayed there several times. But several times as well, when I stayed there, we had some visitors. Never really understood why people were going all the way up there. I wish that people could just do whatever they wanted to do in their own homes and not have to come out to nice places and then make the vibe all fucked up. But anyway, so I felt safe last night in my little alleyway, because I was like, if those people in that white Altima wanted to come and kill me, they will never find me. There is no way. I'm 100% invisible from the road. The other person who was at the campsite, I'm sure that they would think that they were me, and if they were going to kill anybody, I would be very safe. So tonight's a little bit different, but I don't really think there's going to be any issue here. So long day. I guess I'll go over that real quick. Woke up this morning around 7-ish. It was cozy. I was just stretching and stuff like that. Always enjoy that first little bit of the morning where you're kind of in between. You're technically awake, but you're still in bed. You're cozy. You can like really stretch and get into feeling like, I don't know, those points of soreness and everything, and just like one final effort to relax before you make your way for the day. Had a nice morning, coffee, all the normal stuff, pooped. That's actually another note of mine. Actually, these all kind of tie together. But something I've started doing now is like trying to purposefully, if I have the ability to plan my poop, I've been pooping under rocks, and I'm forsaking digging, because I assume, I don't know if it's technically LNT to poop under a rock and then put the rock back. I mean, I'm looking for big rocks. Like it has to weigh like probably 20 or 30 pounds for me to think that it's a good enough rock for me to poop on, or under, I should say. So that's my new strategy, pooping under rocks. And today I had another sort of like, it wasn't an emergency poop, but it was an unforeseen poop, a second poop. A poop that was of such proportion that I was surprised that it needed to happen, because I was like, this is like a in the morning kind of poop. This is so much volume. But I did something today that I've never done. Two different things. One, I didn't really want to go through the whole thing of like having to get out my toilet paper and all that kind of shit, pun intended. And so all I did, I just filled up my bidet like to the max, so 500 milliliters of water, and I just used that in lieu of wiping. I didn't wipe at all. Part of my like midday bidet, which this poop was my midday bidet, I don't typically wipe. I'll just like air dry kind of thing. And today I was just like, I have enough confidence now in my method with this little bidet that I actually don't think toilet paper is necessary. And so it was sort of a breakthrough, because I've never not wiped my butt after pooping. There's always been a very strong urge to make sure that the job is done. But the bidet is sufficient and efficient enough to get that job done. and I was just like kind of amazed by that. It was a big threshold to cross. I mean, that in and of itself is enough of a transformative experience for the thru hike to be over. And then on top of that, I didn't even have to wash my hands. Now, I typically am someone who is very conscious of like dirty hands, not wanting to cross contaminate things. I don't want to have like any kind of gross stuff on my hands when I'm eating. I don't typically use my fingers when I'm like getting snacks and stuff like that. I'll always try to just move the thing around in the packaging and then just put it straight into my mouth. That's what she said anyway. But today, after pooping, I didn't even wash my hands because I was like, my hands had nothing to do with this process. Like the only thing that my hands did was squeeze the bidet. And I was just like, wow, this is like, I feel like I've evolved as a shitting creature. Like to not have to use toilet paper and to not have to wash my hands necessarily. Now, if I was in society, I'm not going to be walking around, without washing my hands. That's just sort of a courtesy you do for other people. But being out here by myself and everything, I'm like, wow, my hands are no dirtier than before this, and I wouldn't have said that my hands were all that dirty anyway. So that was a pretty big moment. Again, as sort of a threshold that was crossed there. I was proud of myself. They say you can't teach old dogs new tricks, but damn, this dog's learning. So yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to. I guess maybe I should go on my notes because I can't really. The day was kind of like. It wasn't particularly like notable or memorable. There were things that happened within it that were kind of interesting and made notes of those things, but by and large, like it was just sort of like it was kind of like a blah kind of day. The hiking itself wasn't particularly engaging. There was a bunch of weird stuff that happened. In fact, when I was close to Cano or like Noen Falls, I think maybe it's called. I guess I don't know if I got off trail or I don't know what happened, but apparently I wasn't on trail for some section of that. But it all connected, so it didn't really matter. But yeah, it was really hot today. Like there was just like not a cloud in the sky all day, and the sun was just kind of glaring and bearing down on me very hard. And it kind of reminded me a little bit of when I biked to the Blue Ridge Parkway, because similarly I had very good weather during that period of, I don't know, 7 days or so when I did it. And it made it kind of hard. Like it was nice to have good weather, but just having that sun bear down on you for hours and hours, like the hours between, when the sun was like basically directly overhead, from like noon till 5 hours of very, very difficult, hard going miles, which honestly is one of the reasons I don't want to do the PCT or the CDT, because I know what it feels like to have that sun just bear down on you for hours and hours and hours, and it's very demoralizing, it's very disorienting, and it kind of messes with your food and water intake, because like I got to a point today where I like didn't feel anything at all. I just felt like nothing, and it was because I was like very hungry and very thirsty and hadn't tended to those things because it just kind of snuck up on me. That HALT acronym again, that's really a good one to have in your holster. Hungry, angry, lonely, thirsty, or thirsty. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. If you're feeling weird, those are the things you need to examine. And so there were a couple of like bullshit water crossings that I had to do today where I had to actually take my shoes off twice. These like expanses of water that were like at least 20 to 30 feet long and almost like knee deep. And one of them was kind of treacherous, like walking across these weird like concrete things that were really slippery. So like, how does that tie in? Well, I guess it was just sort of like a hard day. There were points where I was like screaming as loud as I could, like, fuck! Because like, I took my shoes off, obviously. I'm not going to get my shoes and socks wet anymore if I can help it. And so I'd walk across these things, praying to God that no fucking dumbass had thrown glass into the water that I might step on, because that would be something that would really muddy the waters of my progress for sure. I didn't want to wear my sandals because I didn't want my sandal straps to get wet, because then that takes forever for them to dry out. So I just had to cross these things. And it was kind of, it was, I wouldn't say demoralizing, but it was just like a huge obstacle that I didn't expect to have to go across these things. And it slowed me down a lot. And I would get to the other side and try to like walk just on the gravel to like make my feet dry. And it was so painful to walk across this gravel that I was just like, oh my God, my feet are so weak. Like, obviously my toes and stuff are dealing with the brunt of all of this, but it's crazy how I can't even like walk across like, I don't know, what would you say these are like the size of like a roll of quarters? I don't know, that's maybe not the best example, but you know, sizable pieces of gravel. It just hurts so bad. And I just kept screaming like, fuck, fuck, as loud as I could. It was a good pressure release valve. But I got to the middle of my day, 15 or 16 miles in, and it was after going through one of these dumbass river crossings. And I had a fat lunch. So I had like this whole plan now about what I'm going to do tomorrow, and I'll return to the lunch in a second. But like I've realized about I don't know, 15 or 17, hopefully not 17 miles, Jesus. How far is it? Now I'm nervous about it. Because I don't have a lot of food. Again, Keenan Scribner is smiling down on me. Let's see. This is going to be 16.2. Well, that's not great. But it could be worse. Okay, so 16.2 miles from here, there is it doesn't cross over 75, but it's a close intersection with 75, the highway. And there's like a pilot fuel stop thing, and there's a McDonald's and a Burger King and stuff like that. So somehow I'm going to make my way over there tomorrow. I don't know. I'm going to probably have to bushwhack unless there's like an actual trail. There might be a little bit of a trail going down there, some sort of a bum trail or something like that. But I'm going to eat like a fucking king tomorrow, and I can't wait. Do a little bit of a resupply, get some more wine. This is all kind of leading up to me going through Dalton in 2 days. But I'm definitely really low on food right now. And I was actually, again, today, fantasizing about food. That's why I kind of had that huge lunch that I'll now go back to. I had gotten like one extra lunch, or one extra dinner, when I did my resupply. I guess it was just yesterday. And so, like, I was like, man, I'm like so hungry right now that I need to eat like a real meal. So I had like a thing of chicken creations. I had a ramen, put some cheese in there. I ate an entire package of cheese last night. I ate 8 ounces of cheese. And that might have been one reason, too, why I woke up like in the middle of the night very thirsty and hot. But yeah, the hiker hunger has definitely set in. Like, I found today that like I was kind of wondering if I was going to have enough to talk about tonight, because all I was thinking about was food. I kept thinking about like different foods that I wanted to eat, and how like seeing that there was a Burger King in this area that I'm going to go to tomorrow, I was like, man, I want like a triple impossible burger. Like, that's what I really, really want. And I want coffee, and I want to sit in a restaurant and just like charge my devices, and I just want to chill. And I just kept having this thought over and over and over and over and over again. And I was like, man, this is like really not conducive to like me being not me having my head in the game. So after that water crossing, I had like a real legit hot lunch. I had a cup of coffee, had a bunch of snacks, drank some water, and that was actually what preceded my poop in the woods, my second poop. I guess it just kind of got all my ducks in a row. I really didn't like, again, have my head in the game until about 2:30 p.m. today. Everything before that, I was just kind of like running on fumes, it felt like. I'm not getting enough food. And I've realized, although I keep forgetting apparently, the reason I'm not getting enough food is because when I go and I do a resupply, I'm not accounting for breakfast. And so what happens is that I end up eating my food that I have allotted for other times of the day, such as snacks, lunch, and dinner. I'm eating those things for breakfast as well. So I'm like eating like 30% of my food in the morning that I didn't account for. And I need to start planning for that better so that I don't have to be just daydreaming about food. I realized today that if I'm daydreaming about food, that means I need to stop and eat a bunch of food, because that's like It's like such a weird distraction. So hard to reach enlightenment when even just going 15-mile walk means that I will have no focus on anything but the acquisition of food. So tomorrow is going to be an epic day. I'm excited. It's going to be a low mileage day. I'm going to do that 16 miles into that little whatever it is. It's not a town. It's like a little hub for motorists on going north on 75, but north and south. The thing about it is, like, there's only one campsite before Dalton, and I guess I'll stay there tomorrow. My plan is to go into Dalton, or excuse me, this little hub, and like I said, eat like a king, resupply a little bit for everything that I need to get through Dalton, and then go to this last campsite, which is like 3 miles north of the intersection. Well, not even. It's like 1 mile north of the intersection that I'll go to. So it'll be a very low mileage day, but I'll also be able to charge all my stuff, and that's something that's kind of vital at this point because my my battery bank is like on one little dot. So I'm actually also planning, once I go through Dalton, I want to buy a 20,000 milliamp hour battery, like a new one. I have a 10,000 milliamp hour battery right now, and I bought it like it might have been, man, when was it? It I don't know, 2018 maybe. So it's like 4 years old, and that's a little old for a battery. I don't know how many like life charging cycles it's gone through, but you know, lithium batteries, they do degrade over time. And there is a finite amount of times that it can be recharged. And I think at this point, especially with my goals to like stay on trail as much as possible and not go into towns and hotels and stuff like that until I have a Tramily or whatever, so that I can split the cost. Like, especially for my no shower till Clayton, that campaign. In order for that to be successful, I need to get a better battery. There's this, I don't like the Beastie Boys, but they have this song, what is it, like, no sleep till Brooklyn, and I keep thinking, no shower till Clayton. So yeah, a lot of these things that I've talked about were list items, so let me go through real quick and, delete them. No fly sleep, got that. Planning on Pilot and Burger King tomorrow, yes, I can't fucking wait for that. God, I'm so fucking hungry. The weirdest thing about like that big lunch that I had today too was it was very unsatisfying. Like I was just like, man, I want so much more than this. Like it was. I mean, I still ate it and it still worked. Like as soon as all the calories and the water and everything hit my system, I was like amped and ready to go, and I was like bobbing my head and like singing the music again. But before that, it was just like it was a sad thing. Yeah, fat lunch when I'm dreaming about food I gotta eat. Didn't get into the swing of things until 2:30. Had to poop. No toilet paper, no hand wash. Yeah, let's get rid of all this stuff. Swing of things, and then dreaming about food. Yeah, fat lunch. My mind is clearing as I fantasize about food. So many of these notes are about food. It's really telling. That's funny. Yeah, like today, I just had nothing on my mind except for food. And I talked about the trail logistics. There were a bunch of like trail logistics that I did because I wasn't really sure. Like getting to the Benton MacKaye Trail, my resupply opportunities are going to become sharply diminished. And so I didn't know, I had to do like a bunch of math and, you know, again, exercising that muscle of resupplying. I should also mention here that I'm very sunburnt. But anyway, trying to figure out like how much food I need to get before I get off the Pinhoti so that I have enough food to get to the first resupply point on the Benton MacKaye, which I believe is Blue Ridge, Georgia, which is like, I don't remember, maybe like 4-ish days into, well, from the last resupply point on the Pinhoti, which is the intersection of 441 and 76. That's going to be 4 days from there to get to Blue Ridge, unless I do some crazy shit, which if I need to, I will. But yeah, I just did a bunch of stuff trying to prepare. I really don't want to run out of food or have to end up going into town and taking like time at a hotel or whatever to, account for the mistakes I might have made while I was trying to plan for all of this stuff. So, um, yeah, it's just this is the Pinhoti's been a really good dry run, but it's not even like a dry run because I think honestly the Pinhoti has been harder than the AT. Like I really don't remember struggling very much for resupplies and just other logistics. Like this is like just a very raw trail. Mm. But I'm making it day 10, and I'll probably be done. I guess. Well, let's see. How many miles are there on this trail? Um, let's see. I'm very close. I'm definitely, obviously, more than halfway done. Um, wow, there's only 87 more miles. Shit, damn, if that's true, I guess I'll be done in like possibly 3 or 4 days, depending. Tomorrow's gonna be a short day, but I could do 2:30s would be 60. If I did 16, that would be, I might be done in 3 days with the Pinhoti. That's kind of hard to believe. Uh, Pinhoti's definitely a trail I'd recommend. But prepare to cross a lot of water. It's harder than the AT in certain respects. But in any case, that's interesting. I didn't really realize that. Uh, yeah, middle of the day, heat, difficulty. Oh yeah, it is pooping under rocks, LNT. Okay, yeah. One thing I will say about the Pinhoti Trail is that it seems like it's kind of strange because you can't really say this because, like, if I say that something is more than it is needed when it's present, then that is taking into account the fact that it's there. Um, Let me just say, it seems like this trail, when it comes to the blazing for it, like every point that is like not necessary for a blaze or a sign is like overly blazed and overly signed, and the areas that are more confusing are actually really difficult because there are a lack of blazes in those areas. Now, I'm not sure if these blazes that I say are more than enough and maybe even like obnoxiously present. If those weren't there, maybe those areas would be hard to navigate as well. But I don't really think so because, like, I don't know. There have been many like switchbacks where there will be like a sign that says like it's like a Pinhoti sign. This is like Pinhoti, and then there's an arrow for the switchback. And I'm like, yeah, no fucking duh. This is like the Pinhoti. There's no other alternative. Like, no shit. But there are other points where I've been like, I don't know where to go right now. And it's just weird that like the signage and the blazings just kind of like drop off all of a sudden. It's something I've noticed, and yeah, it's something that makes it a little bit difficult, especially like the other night when I was in that crazy fog when I had my emergency poop. That was like really, really hard to follow, but that probably would have been easier if it wasn't so foggy. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. I've been eating so many nuts. It's crazy. Um, I think it's good for me. Nuts are basically like tree eggs, and eggs are good for you. I made a note here that exercising is my full-time job now. I mean, I guess that's true. The only thought that I can think to add to that, I got some owls. Um, when I was reading my Strava stats, like there was like a total hour. I think I was like exercising actively for 57 hours last week, but that doesn't take into account like the total time that I've been outside. Like I've literally been outside for the past 10 days. Like I have not slept indoors the entire time, which is really cool. And I still really like the idea of getting all the way to Clayton without going inside. And I don't think I'll take a zero at my parents' house unless it takes me longer to make the tincture than I expect. But I might spend the night there, and that might be the first time that I do laundry, take a shower, and kind of reevaluate. Today, when I was thinking about getting that 20K battery bank from Walmart, I was thinking, if I do that, then I definitely need to not have my 10K one anymore. So I would leave that at my parents' house, probably put it in my car with all my other stuff, My entire life right now is in my Toyota RAV4. Like, it's kind of crazy how much my life has been reduced to just like, what the fuck is that? I remember, yeah, well, two things. One, Nimblewill Nomad in the Trek episode, he was talking to Zach Badger Davis, and he's like, telling him that if he needed to, Nimblewill Nomad could put all of his shit in his truck and leave where he was living in like 30 minutes, and he would have everything that he owned in his truck. And he's like, "Could you do that?" And when I was listening, I was like, "Yeah, I fucking could. Kind of am right now." So yeah, my entire life, my will, everything, is in my car right now, and soon enough, my 10K shitty fucking battery bank will be too. Beyond that, these noises I'm hearing kind of remind me of the first night that Ben, shout out to Ben, Ben and I were on the Appalachian Trail. We stayed at Hawk Mountain Shelter, and it was like the first time in I don't even know how many years, but it was the first time in a very, very long time that I had slept, like, camped. And I just remember being very scared. All the noises that were happening and just, like, the uncertainty of, I don't know, sleeping outdoors. And man, I've just come so far since then. I mean, I've been out here for 10 days by myself, and I'm not even mad about it. You know, I wish my feet were in better shape. I wish my knees were a little bit more cooperative. But overall, this is like a great, great time. I'm really enjoying myself. And, yeah. I did have some dream last night, about some girl, but I don't really remember it now. So I guess there's nothing to say there. But yeah, all that just to say, I had a dream the other night. I think I mentioned it, maybe I didn't. I made like a private clip about my dream. It had to do with Allie, and it was like a subconscious thing where I was like, I feel like I'm actually like subconsciously moving on from that relationship finally. And then last night I had this dream about this other girl who, and this is a fictitious person, but when I woke up I was like, wow, like this dream was like totally just like about someone new, someone that I haven't ever met before, but was very intrigued and entranced by. So I think that bodes well for my psychology and my psyche as I continue to kind of put more and more distance between Allie and myself. Again, as I've mentioned before, we are technically friends, but our relationship is a little bit more complicated than that. I've never really understood her, still don't, and the distance doesn't help with any of that, but the idea that I might be moving on finally is like a comforting one. It makes me think that I'll sleep better. And beyond that, when I got here tonight, speaking of Allie, I tended to all of the things that I needed to do before sitting down and drinking my wine. I went through my backpack and organized everything, set up my tent, and went and washed my feet, my legs, my arms in the little stream. And shout out to Allie for that. She was the one who she used to do that pretty often, pretty regularly. She was very adamant about like cleaning herself with water, and I did that tonight, and it was great. My feet are feeling good. My legs are looking good. My arms are feeling good. Everything is good. And also used the bidet when I got here. And, you know, going back to the fact that I didn't use toilet paper or anything like that today, like it worked. Like there was no issue with not having used toilet paper, not having using toilet paper, whatever. Like I didn't have like monkey butt or chafing or like itchiness or anything. At this point, you know, I'm kind of tempted to like throw away my toilet paper, so it's like less weight that I have to carry around because I obviously don't need it anymore. But also, if I have to have an emergency poop and I don't have water, then I have nothing to fix that with. So it's a bit of a push-pull right now. But I do feel like the toilet paper that I have might conceivably last me like the entire Appalachian Trail because I just don't need it. It's superfluous. Mm, 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 mm. 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 Well, the wine's gone. The list is done. 20K value communicants. Yeah, I don't know. Like after I go through after tomorrow, I have to walk through Dalton, and going through Dalton and getting all the way through on the Pinhoti, it's like a huge road walk. So that bodes well for me because I can go quickly. But there's no camping for like I don't even know how long, many miles. And like that's actually one good thing about like when Allie and I were biking across country, we realized like how we could camp and stuff like that when there weren't actual campsites. We basically would stay at like community parks, city parks, community centers, and so I don't really know when it comes to going through Dalton where I'm gonna camp because I don't know if I want to do like a 40-mile day. That would be insane. Probably unnecessary. I'm sure there's going to be stealth camping opportunities, even if they're not mentioned on Far Out. But yeah, so Allie and I, having done the bike rides and the hiking, really has set us up both well for being able to be resourceful and creative when it comes to where you're going to sleep at night. And so I'm not really sure, like 2 days from now, where I will be coming from to make my next clip about like where I am and everything like that. But I could very easily see myself like camping behind Walmart, for example. Like, Walmarts typically are obviously very big. The Walmart in Dalton is a super center, and that's where I intend to resupply and get that battery bank and everything like that. So typically they have like land behind them as well, and I kind of feel like I could probably just walk up there and like find a camp spot depending on what time of day it is and how many miles I've done. Not really sure about that at this point. Again, I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants, As I've said many times now, the Pinhoti is a different beast. It's not like the Appalachian Trail. It feels very different. It's a little bit more Wild West out here. So we'll see how all that kind of transpires. I don't, I just don't know. But it doesn't matter. It's time to make some dinner. And yeah, Keenan Scribner should be singing my praises. I've got access to everything I need. And yeah, tomorrow's going to be an intense day. I can't fucking wait for some good food. Oh my god, I'm so hungry. And I don't want to eat any more of the food that I have. But I will, and I'm going to. So, bye for now. Talk to you tomorrow. And yeah, man, shit's fucked up in the best way possible. Bye. Love you.